Polestar was an early entry in the compact electric sedan market. Now we have seen the just-revealed BMW i4, which is competing for drivers in the same segment. In this video, I'll compare the exterior, interior, technology, performance and pricing of these two EVs, and we'll find out if the BMW i4 is a threat to the Polestar 2. Having been revealed in 2019, the Polestar 2 had a head start in the compact EV sedan segment. Now 2 years later, we have the BMW i4. There's a number of similarities when you look at them. They're both sedans, a rarity in the market so fond of crossovers, and both sport the fastback line. With the European DNA, they both have smart, crisp, clean styling. Polestar used to be the performance arm of Volvo before it was spun off, and so it still retains some distinctive Volvo features like the Thor's hammer headlights. There's also a few neat details like frameless mirrors and the badges on the side. The rear gets a continuous taillight that wraps around in a C shape. In a design era with smooth, almost jelly bean-like shaped cars, it's nice to see a bolder, boxier form. But that form can have a bit of a downside. Compared to the i4's drag coefficient of 0.24 and 0.25, the Polestar clocks in at a slightly higher 0.278. Despite being all-electric, the i4 looks very much like a combustion BMW. The fastback line is reminiscent of the 4 Series, and other familiar design cues include the large kidney grille and sculptural taillights. But going beyond that, in order to achieve better aerodynamics, BMW utilizes a continuous surface underbody, a front active air flap, and aerodynamic mirrors. Despite looking similar, it's important to note that the Polestar is a full 7 inches shorter than the i4. Consequently, the Polestar also has slightly less cargo capacity than the i4, but it does have a frunk. In a comparison of the interior, the i4 stays true to its BMW DNA, while the Polestar forges a new path. In the i4's interior, there's a few blue accents to clue you in that this is an electric car, but otherwise it feels very much like a BMW interior. The biggest difference is in the continuous curved screen that includes the instrument cluster and the infotainment screen. It also runs the newest BMW operating system. Seat materials include Sensatec and real leather in a number of colors. There's wood and aluminum trim accents, and in the M version, carbon fiber accents. What's particularly nice is standard acoustic glazing, which really makes a difference in an electric car. With the Polestar being a new company, it really doesn't have a tradition to fall back on. So it finds its own path with a mix of inspirations from Tesla and Volvo. The center 11-inch touchscreen is clearly Tesla-inspired, while some of the other parts like the steering and dials come from Volvo. What is nice is that the infotainment runs Google Android, including Google Maps, a big upgrade from the current Sensus navigation used in Volvos. Compared to BMW, the Polestar interior takes a more serious approach to its sustainability. Seats are clad in Weave Tech, a fabric made from recycled materials, and trim upgrades include recycled wood trim and Napa leather. With the Performance Pack, you also get cool, gold-colored seat belts. When it comes to technology, both cars offer standard ones like collision mitigation braking. As options, they also offer more advanced technologies like adaptive cruise control along with lane centering. But there are a few technologies that are unique to each. Polestar gets pixel LED headlights, which allow parts of the high beam to turn off so as not to dazzle oncoming traffic. In contrast, the BMW gets standard LED headlights. One technology that is unique to the BMW and not available on the Polestar is head-up display. In a new advancement, BMW's head-up display can also integrate map instructions from Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So that brings us to performance, pitting the racing heritage Polestar against the BMW. There are 2 variants in the i4, one rear-wheel drive and the M version all-wheel drive, both using the same battery. Polestar used to have just one battery size, but they have recently also introduced a smaller battery. For this video, we'll focus on the larger battery because that's what's comparable to the i4. Given that the i4 has a slightly larger battery, the range is higher, but on a kilometer per kilowatt hour basis, they are quite close. They are also quite close with peak charging power, where BMW gets a slightly faster charge. But things start diverging when you look at performance numbers. The BMW motors are significantly more powerful than the corresponding Polestar motors. Consequently, the acceleration times for the BMW are noticeably faster. I haven't had a chance to drive the i4 yet, but I have driven the Polestar, and the suspension was noticeably stiff and could not be adjusted except manually with the Öhlins dampers with the Performance Pack. I assume the stiff suspension is a nod to Polestar's racing heritage. Given that the i4 has a rear air suspension for the eDrive 40 and adaptive dampers for the M50, I expect the BMW could have a more comfort-oriented drive than the Polestar 2. For price, we'll look at Germany as we have prices for all variations of both cars there. You'll see that the Polestar costs quite a bit less than the BMW. The dual motor being marketed has fewer features than the one previously sold, so I'll add in for reference what a loaded Polestar used to cost. Even so, the Polestar still costs about €10,000 less than the i4. So, is the BMW i4 a threat to the Polestar 2? No, I don't think so. The Polestar has a slightly smaller battery, is less powerful, and costs less, so I don't think they're a threat to each other. In fact, I think they actually complement each other. They establish their own performance and price points, thereby giving the driver more options to choose from. But what is interesting is that Polestar has positioned itself as an exclusive, premium, performance-oriented brand, and that's being put into question by the i4. Polestar has looked to build on the performance heritage of Polestar racing and mix it with the exclusivity of purchasing a car at a custom Polestar space that is located in high-end retail districts. But when compared to the i4, the Polestar comes out cheaper and loses some of its performance credentials, putting the positioning of Polestar a little bit into question. But brand positioning aside, which one would you buy? The Polestar 2 or the BMW i4? Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like me to compare the i4 to another car, let me know the name of that EV too. Please give the video a like, share your comments below, and subscribe to the Driver Download.